Okay, let's do this. As usual, promotional consideration paid for by the following: John K., Andrew C., Lady Quickblood 35, Moonbad, Bobbis D., Craig B., Jimmy M., Drac Wizza, James C., Macy J., Tipsy Thomas, James B., Wallach, Jason G., Michael W., Christian M., Cornite, Queerbear, Olinius Pius, Road Dog, King Assault, Soul Blighter, Sage MC, and PP Asquali, Tippers, AfterDarkPrince.net, and Celtic Miniatures, and as usual, thank you to Randy the Axeman. How's everybody doing today? I will wait for a quick sound check from the audience, and we'll get started. Bring myself up. All right. I'm not having such a bad hair day today, I think. How are you, Shadow? It's good to see you. Been out of the loop a little bit this week and everything. Had a big week, big work week. Worked my face off this week. So, I didn't even showered on Friday, got home from boxing, and I fell asleep on the couch, and I still haven't done that post-workout shower. Now I'm starting to feel like a dirt ball. All right, we'll just get a sound check from the audience here. Afternoon. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, buddy? Sounds like everything's good. All right, so today I've got one of these guys that I'm painting. And I've already got one that's finished. And what's up, CJ Wargaming? And, I'm just going to do a little bit of a more 30K oriented show and everything, if that's okay with everybody who's watching. Okay, so I want to let everybody know that you should be following me on Rumble, and there is an exclusive 30K battle report sitting there for the audience on Rumble. Again, Rumble is the home of all the Holy Diver battle reports. There's going to be some... They've just kind of changed their algorithm a little bit, so I'm going to be putting more exclusives over on Rumble. And now that I'm talking about Rumble, next weekend, so if you guys got some time during the long holiday weekend for all my American audience members, I am going to be trying to stream my first stream on Rumble. I'm going to be doing all those tests on Rumble. So because I'm going to have a long weekend like everybody else, I'm going to put the work and the time in to make sure that I can stream on Rumble so that we can start taking the show over there twice a week rather than bombarding YouTube with the same stream, only a little bit different and everything like that. We can get away with a lot more on Rumble. We can even watch certain movies on Rumble. So that is on the table there. I can actually I can actually watch movies on YouTube, but they have to be in public domain. One movie I could watch is Vincent Price's The House on Haunted Hill, which is something I really want to do. Maybe that might be how I do the year ender. Instead of a Holy Divers Year Ender, I do Vincent Price, The House on Haunted Hill, or something like that. I will take a litmus in the audience to see if anyone would think that would be cool. Anyway, Iron Warriors do look badass. Everybody knows how lazy a guy I am. They're kind of the path of least resistance, but what makes the Iron Warriors stick out for me is their Primarch, Perturabo. I'm a lot like Perturabo. I'm a racist, I'm a fattist, I'm an ageist, I'm an ismphobe. I've also got daddy issues. Here, let me tell you something. When my parents divorced, my dad went away, and my mom traded my dad out for new daddy, and my dad still had to pay child support as if I lived there. And then I wondered where the new VCR came and the new TV came for new daddy. It was from my child support, most likely. So yeah, Perturabo is just kind of a bitter, angry man child, and I identify a lot with that. He's focused on the singular. Like he was the only. I mean, the Siege of Terra would have failed immediately had he not been calling the shots and keeping everybody from flipping out, man. Basically, But the hazard stripes, yeah, the pain of painting the hazard stripes does suck, Donkey Kong Dong, and everything like that. But that's okay. But Let's see here. So I've had at least 4 games of 30K, and I got to admit that I really like it in comparison to 40K. Again, it's like the system was written by someone who cares, not GPT, and that's the best way to sum that up. So let's see here. I guess I'll bring up the Sony. Make sure that's working. Take capture off. Bam. All right. So the next thing I'd like to talk about for a little bit is eBay and everything. And now these guys here, unfortunately for me, they are forgeries, and I've never had this problem before. And when I went back to leave a bad review to see if the guy was still there and say, hey, there's something wrong with these guys, because look at this, there's one break right there. Yeah, there's a break right there, and Forgeworld stuff isn't that brittle. It's a little bit more high quality than this, and so these look fine and they'll work, but the store was long gone when I went to complain and everything like that. So I kind of got conned, and this is after I had bought a Typhon and 2 Sakarans before the plastic kits came out, and I had no trouble buying used stuff on Forgeworld. I even bought my War Biker boss on Forgeworld and everything like that, and I never had any problems. But this is the first time I've actually had any issues where, you get hosed sometimes, and that's just the way it works, and there's really nothing you can do. And of course, I had to buy it from somebody in the UK, and I overpaid on shipping. So, just kind of a buyer's beware guide, and the problem with this is it's not that I really got hosed, it's just the integrity of the person who would do something like that, And one thing I always liked about eBay is that, most of the time I've had, this is like one of the only sour experiences I've ever had with a seller at all, and I just wish I remembered his eBay handle and everything, And so I just decided to eat it up because my friend actually went through and he's like, I'll repair these for you, because I initially wanted him to take a wire hanger. We'll cut this part off, we'll cut that part off, and we'll just screw the wire right through here and just make it one solid piece all the way through here. And he's like, yeah, I can do that all day, every day, and make it look right. Because you can screw into there, and then you can screw here to there. Just make it a solid piece. Because there's enough, once you fill it up with super glue to just repair it. So other than the hammers being a little bit busted, like as you can see right there, the hammer's busted right there. I'm not particularly bitter, but I know, and now the internet knows and everything. And this is what they're going to look like when they're done. Nothing special there. Just kind of it just kind of pisses me off because when you're expected to be on the honor system, and I think the honor system is way better than having Big Daddy government come in and like fix all your problems for you. Just be on the honor system. And that's what they use in Singapore a lot of times. All you have to do is never litter, don't drum up class hatred, and don't shoplift, and you can avoid a caning. The person who did this, he should be caned for it. He's I pulled one over on that holy diver, the American there, and I got 3 of these guys, and whoever did the recast on these actually did somewhat of a competent job, because other than a little bit of bubbling down towards here and in the same spot right there, they almost look legit, but they don't weigh the same. They don't weigh the same. So, I think, when you're put on the honor system, you need to abide by the honor system. And if you can't abide by the honor system, you shouldn't be selling anything on eBay, And like I said, this is the only sour thing that's ever happened to me on eBay. So, and it did happen recently, and I did overpay because of shipping, when I should have just gone up front, because they were built. And I'm like, I don't really want to tangle with that model kit, And that's why I wanted to buy used. But then again, you have to remember, if you're anybody who's really on eBay, they're also poor or whatever, you know, and you run into poor people problems is what I want to call it. And they you run into poor people problems, and they probably don't have access to buying Forgeworld. It's not in their budget, you know. But, you know, every now and then you get somebody who's looking to get rid of their collection. It's like, I got these 3 models for whatever reason. They're built. And one of the things you got to look for is if they're built and they're primed and they're spray primed metal with the Army Builder metal, that's usually a telltale sign that they are forgeries. And they do this on the Iron Warrior stuff a lot. But I'm sure some of you in the audience could point out examples of forgeries that are just there and everything. Now, like I said, my Typhon, my Sakarans, they're all good. And, you know, they're heavy. That's another thing. These things are kind of light, you know, but they're slightly heavier than my last contemptor for my, what do you call these guys? This is going to be the last contemptor for my Imperial Fists army. I'm going to run 3 contemptors with that army because I need something to back my Terminators up in close combat, and I also need to change up the list a little bit to include Land Raiders, which brings me, so if any of you guys are out there and you've got an extra Land Raider that's competently built but not painted and you're looking to sell it, hit me up on Instagram. The link is in the description below. You can always get in touch with me on Instagram because I am looking to buy some competently painted Land Raiders with the las cannons. Oh God, what is that? Hold on, I gotta check out the Land Raiders real quick. Google Land Raiders. One good thing about having my keyboard up here is that my accuracy for typing has gone up a bit. Oh, you piece of crap. Why does it, but you know what? Why does Wiki come up for anything that you Google? Like any product that you want to buy, Wiki always just shows up first. I don't want to go to Wiki. It should be like, is Games Workshop so cheap that they won't pay to be at the top of their own Google, search? Online only now, huh? The Land Raider is online only now. Are they going to be retiring the Land Raider? I know that they retired the normal Smurf Marines. Is it the Crusader? It's the one with the las cannons up front. That's what it is. It's the one with the las cannons, not the giant mounts for heavy bolters and everything. Anyway, let's get a picture of that up here. Display capture, bam. It's this kind of Land Raider. So if anybody has an extra one of these, hit me up, and I'd like to buy it from you and everything. Because if it's one thing I hate doing, there's a couple of things I hate doing. 1, it's paying for shaving razors. 2, it's buying work boots. And 3, it's building Land Raiders. I've only ever built 1, and I really struggled with it. Now I'm sure I could if I really, really wanted to, but I don't feel like I want to. Bleep that, I say. Yeah, it's the las cannon one like this and everything. But yeah, just looking for some Land Raiders, you know, and I want to flush out the rest of my forces, because I already know what I'm doing for my Iron Warriors. The good thing about my Iron Warriors is these guys right here. I'll just switch back. We'll switch back. These guys right here, I'm going to be running 6 of them in 3,000 points, but 4 of them in 2,000 points, and that's a 555 point unit. And so yeah, but and then I'm gonna have a Leviathan and I got the Leviathan and the Contemptor Dreadnought upstairs for those guys. The only thing I don't have are the Siege Terminators. Now we can go on a little excursion here. And we'll go for Siege Tyrant Terminators. All right. And we'll see what is literally suspect here, because it only seems to affect Iron Warriors players, I guess, the whole eBay thing here. Okay, we'll close that down for now. Come on. I got to get a mouse pad. I'm putting that on my to-do list today. Mouse pad, yeah. All right. And we can put up our little Chiron for the Horus Heresy. So yeah, we're doing a little eBay shopper guide. I know that everybody kind of likes it when I do eBay stuff. So let's see. Okay, first and foremost, that's a red flag. I'm not buying shit from Ukraine. End of story. Like, I don't know how they get promoted to the top of every search. Like, anything that comes out of Ukraine is always at the top. And then it's right here, we're going right to what do you call it? The UK. Everything is the UK. Now this is a little less sus in my opinion. The box right here. If I made this big enough, I could probably scan that batch code number. I mean, made in the UK. The condition new right here. This is a little bit less suspect to me. But the ones like this, and it's always Iron Warriors crap, I've noticed. And sometimes you get conned. And, I guess it was my turn. Out of 20 years of being on eBay, that's the first time I've ever been conned, They must have converted all their currency to crypto and ran away with it to Nigeria. This magical land where nobody ever grows old. You don't grow old in Nigeria because you don't live to see 30, like most African countries. All right? And the modus operandi is a lot of these things, like right there. Look at that. That looks like crap right there. I wish I could zoom in on this a little bit more. Like, what's up with that guy's shoulder pad just from the front? These can be, these aren't even the official models, and he's trying to sell these, This isn't what they look like. If I go to the Forgeworld right now, we can just go over here. There we go. Oh, there they are. Boom. Cool. Yeah, so there you go. Those are some guys, 3D printed crap that he's selling and everything, and you can see that they don't even match, So that's one right there. Some guy resin casted this crap and he's selling it in Knightsbridge in the UK, and I expect you to buy it. Look at how nicely it's painted. It's not hard to paint Iron Warriors crap, you moron. So yeah, that's just no, would not buy that. Would not buy that. I will say that those turrets look good to an extent. I don't know why there's not a back hole for the missile casing to pop out when you shoot it. But that's all bent. That looks like shit. I mean, it's good presentation. And that's how they get you. So this one is sus. I would not buy that. And yeah, you can see he's got a 99% positive feedback, but it's always UK guys. It's always UK guys that are doing this horse shit. So this is less sus. This is less sus. This is probably my first route because, again, I wouldn't mind if it was just in America, but they make it in America now, But eBay shopping is literally my preferred way to shop. Like, I get everything on eBay, from baby wipes, Windex when I need it and shit like that, If there's from my favorite flavor of Zevia soda, I can get it on eBay. Let's go through a few more of these here. Is this probably the same seller? Same seller. All right, these ones look a little less sus, but I'm still going to say they're forgeries. The bolters look a little bit messed up. Especially this lead guy in the center here. His bolter looks a little bit messed up, and we'll compare it to the picture right there. Notice how the bolters aren't messed up. The clips aren't messed up. He did a better job on copying these. You know, I've seen the missiles, the missile launchers that mount on top of the actual cataphracti terminators. I've seen these, what do you call it? I've seen these printed, and, you know, they're selling for £5, you know. So there's that. These ones look a little bit more, not these ones, but the ones that we were just looking at. They look a little more convincing because the insignias are matching. But they have trouble with these leather flaps. I don't even know what those are. The little leather flaps. You know, these little leather flaps, they look like crap. So, you know, it's another forgery. I mean, you know, what are you going to do at the end of the day? Let's see. In up close, this fabric right here is what we're talking about. Only $117.50, you know. Notify me when available. Out of stock. Let's see what the rest of the UK group's doing. Let's take a look here. An extra one, which I would not be opposed to, but the fact that it's $15 kind of makes me scared there. Oh, it's got no torso. Now, I do like that gun arm right there because it's got the lines on it. Molded lines to make your troubles go away. That is cool. Just extras. And where are these coming from? Okay, the studs. Do these guys have studs? I don't think so. They got different kinds of studs. They're not circle studs. Yeah, another group of forgeries. It's just rampant amongst the Iron Warrior stuff, you know. So I guess buyer beware. I don't know if there's a different, and you can tell right there. See this guy right here where my mouse is, where I'm dragging on the end there. That's all kind of warped and fugly, his missile launcher. You don't really get... I mean, you do get really bad gun barrels that you have to heat up, you know, and that's another thing that you have to worry about with Forgeworld, is that they can't... Games Workshop, the best miniature company so-called in the entire world, can't resin cast decent barrels. So thank goodness most of the tanks came out in a plastic line. But that is what 30K is about. It's about tanks. Let's go to the next auction. Take me here, you piece of shit. Again, not buying anything from the Ukraine. Don't they have anything better? Who's painting all this crap in the Ukraine? Why is there still stuff in the Ukraine? I thought the Russians were beating the shit out of everybody there. If this guy's got time to paint miniatures, they haven't used up all of their available manpower to fight the Russians. Ukraine, you're not trying to win this war. If this guy has time to keep painting shit for his eBay store. You got to snatch this guy up, unless he's like 700 pounds. Then snatch him up and drop him off like a tall boy bomb onto the enemy. Selling the arms. Now, I can talk about these. These are actually... I would wager that these are legitimate because this seller... I mean, look at the count there. This guy's been around forever. I've bought stuff from him for a long time. This is a Wisconsin-based store. Noble Knights, you know, I mean... This is one of the bigger eBay sellers anyway, and it's attached to his website and everything. And nobody's going to pay $448 for one of these things. But, Still a little bit sus that there's only one. And now that bend right there is indicative of a Forgeworld model. I will say that. And you probably do have more room for the articulation on these guys. Again, I haven't seen the kit, but I'm going to be buying some of these from Forgeworld proper on my next round because I do want 6 of them. But, you know, just a little buyers beware there. You know, just look at the seller rating. And Shadow would know a lot more about this kind of subject than me. But you notice with, like, other than this guy's hammer, things are less flawed. And again, I don't know why they'd sculpt the hammer that way. It would be way smarter just to do a hammer. Like if I had to get these models, I'm really thinking a piece of wire to connect the hammer bits to the actual hand apparatus itself. And then it's just the selling of the arms. Let's do one more. Let's see here. And they're always painted. Okay, these ones look like the most legit ones I've seen so far. You know, they're definitely closer. These ones might actually be legit. But again, it's not that hard to... You want $400 for painting some Iron Warriors BS. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. Oh, it's China. It's China. Don't trust... That's a red flag. We don't buy Warhammer stuff from China anymore. And that would absolutely make no sense whatsoever. Because, you know, in China, I mean, they're legitimately the worst people for copyright infringement. So, you know, there's your red flag right there. A little buyer beware guide on some of this stuff. Let's go into chat. Let's go into chat. All right. Everything is going to... Yeah, they're all going to... Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I really hate that they're retiring the normal standard Marine. But, you know, I can see why they're doing it, you know, because they came out with Primaris, which are 2-scale Space Marines, and we need you to buy these models, you know. And, again, that goes back into what I said last week. One of the big problems with 40K is that they're just shifting the meta too much. And, you know, I mean... You know, they also don't use sculptors anymore. They have a program that sculpts their miniatures for them, so they don't have to pay artistic rights and license to people like the Perry brothers, because that would just break their bank book right out. It would just break them right out to have to pay an artist. What's up, Coronite Care Bear? Glad you were here. Let's see. Women aren't painting in the Ukraine. You know what's funny is that any women that they've armed and put in the front lines in the Ukraine they put them in the front lines, they've immediately surrendered at the first sight of Russian soldiers. They throw down their arms and they go towards the Russians with their hands up. They've all immediately surrendered. Any women that they put out on the front lines, they just find that they surrender immediately at first contact with the enemy. I guess you're going to have a commissar to make sure that they fear the lash of betraying their country a little bit more than just surrendering. But that's there's a lot of videos like that where they're just surrendering to the enemy immediately. Not to mention they were already the Russian men are already hitting up Ukrainian babes on Tinder. Yeah, that's very indicative of Failcast Historical Doppelganger. You get any... I mean, Failcast was a disaster. It was one of the biggest disasters on the face of the planet. You're going to say... And again, you know, it's like... God, were they scraping the bottom of the... were they just collecting used resin at the beginning to make these models? You know, I mean... It's not hard to do resin models, I mean, everybody does it, but I mean, just like at the when Failcast first came out, I was like, wow, this really sucks Donkey Kong Dong. I'm all using hot water to straighten out my Dark Elf swords and everything, and they were like, oh, you can get 5 now, and they went from boxes of 10 to boxes of 5. That was a load of horse shit too. No, me and my group are not going to jump on to the Legion Imperialis train. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we are playing Mordheim. And this will be my first game of Mordheim, and I'm bringing the Night Goblins. And apparently, from what we've gathered, that game has slipped into public domain, apparently. Games Workshop doesn't own all of the rights to it. And so, I mean, that's probably going to make it a really good game because, when you have people that are passionate and they care, you get a better product. So, no Legion Imperialis. My money is tied up with, like, I've spent too much money on 40K this year for my orcs. And I've also just, I haven't made any 30K purchases just, I finished all my basic 30K purchases. Like the normal standard Marines for my Iron Warriors, the Dreadnoughts that I need for my Iron Warriors, but I have all the vehicles that I need for I just need Praetors. If somebody's looking to get rid of some Praetors, let me know, Yeah, I'll just hit me up on Instagram. If you're looking to get rid of Land Raiders and Praetors, just let me know. I'm wondering when you're going to come down for a game, Cornite. Any game is fine. I understand, though. Every work sucks Donkey Kong Dong, I was going to go to work today and do some leaves, but I decided to just stay in. And so Legion Imperialis looking interested, but the price. Yeah, again, it's a passion. I'd have to say that Legion Imperialis is another passion project, like fantasy is to me. I haven't even seen any. I've only seen pictures of the stuff, like one little thumbnail of the stuff. I've had zero interest in anything epic 40K. And like with most things, people have to understand, again, you only have so much time, you only have so much money, and, the best thing that you can do is pick 5 games. Pick 5 games, and, I should say that 2 to 3 of those games should be something that you already have invested time and money in. And if you're going to start something new, you're going to start something new. Again, passion project, Lord of the Rings SBG. Haven't touched those models. They're up there on the top shelf in the drawer. Haven't touched them. And they're just sitting there laughing at me. And there's probably, good hell. I mean, I'd like to take a model count right there. There's easily pushing 150 miniatures in there that I just don't play with, don't do anything with, not to mention the trolls, the Witch King's just sitting in the closet collecting dust because he won't fit in the drawer. Again, not a fan of the Witch King model. I wish they had I wish I had that pewter one that was sitting on the sitting in the sitting position with its wings kind of closed. That would be a lot better. Glad to hear you're looking forward to it. I mean, yeah, if it's your thing, Shadow, Legion Imperialis away, I say. Yeah, that's what we've gathered. I have the book in my car. I was going to read it on Friday, but I only have to work for 5 hours on Friday, and I'll take that after a 13 and a half hour shift on Thursday. That still kind of got me wiped out. I'll take that. I got in on Friday. They started paving late, as usual, because you got to wait for it to heat up to at least close to 50. And then did 2 loads, worked 5 hours, just went in, parked my truck, went home, got some more sleep, and went to boxing, and then laid out, fell asleep watching the Legend of Zelda cartoon like a punk. And then I woke up, did some paperwork that I got to do for my seasonal deferral, and started painting this guy. I think the wash is dried on him now that I can actually start working him again. So, made my stream stuff and came here. Yeah, I've never played Aeronautica, so I know, and again, there's just so many freaking GW games, And it does make it does make me regret, getting invested in 40K. I mean, I've got my Iron Warriors army for 40K, and I'm dreading what I might have to add to it to make it viable, And is it even worth my time to make it viable? I don't know. I don't think that it is, you know. Yeah, from an aesthetic standpoint, it definitely pleases a lot of people. But again, I don't know how many people are going to play it. I don't know if I've never been to the Games Workshop stores in my state at all. My friend's been, and he's given me some funny stories. But I've never been to any of those stores. Am I going to discuss the previews from last night? Are you talking about Warhammer the Old World? Because I can if you want me to. What's up, Jedi? How you doing? Yeah, a lot of people jumped on the X-Wing bandwagon. I never understood that one, because by the time X-Wing came out, Star Wars was already dead for me. When did X-Wing come out? Didn't it come out in like 20... I know it had to have been somewhere in the late 20 teens. Not the mid 20 teens when X-Wing came out, but don't quote me on that. Maybe 2012. And again, game environments, Jedi in Ireland. Oh, 2012, yeah. And I think that's when the first movie came out. When did that movie come out? Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Hold on here. Oh, that was 2015. Okay, so the Clone Wars. No, what is it? 2005, huh? No, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say by 2012. Just for me because I don't know the chronology. That movie came out in 2015, and just by then, Star Wars had already died for me. It had been done to death by that point and everything. And then, of course, Disney did it, and they ruined it. They've since ruined it really hard and everything. But you know, it was just another game where it was like I felt like some of the people who were playing, at least in my area, were people who wanted to LARP at being a war gamer. I mean, they were selling battle foam for it and everything. Like, really? Battle foam for it? Well, some people, they like to repaint their ships. I'm like, yeah, right, motherfucker. Yeah, right. And this was the guy in the store. You know how lazy the average American card gamer is? And if he, let alone, how poor he is? I mean, I'd be shocked if he had the disposable income to spend money on paints, let alone the money for battle foam for his little X-wing collection. Yeah, I don't know. It was, to me, it seemed like a LARPer's game. 2012 was kind of a weird year for me, at least. I mean, just in gaming, because I think that's what was that? I think that might have been the year for Hordes as well. Hordes second edition. My friends were all on the Hordes bandwagon. You know, it was always hard. You know, just going back and forth. They want to play different games. Me, I only have one crack cocaine, literally, and it's a game of fantasy. I don't know where, I don't care where it's coming. I don't care who I have to hurt to get the game of fantasy. I don't care if I have to plant drugs on a black man. As long as I get a game of fantasy at the end, I'm gonna be happy. That's literally my only crack cocaine is just I enjoy a good game of Warhammer Fantasy. I don't care. If you want to play 6th edition, I'll read the 6th edition book and I'll read it. If you're willing to travel and you want to come and play some fantasy with your pal Holy Diver, I'm willing to do that. You know, and if you want to what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I was just thinking about the crack cocaine that is the game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. It's just something that I like. It's the one end of the hobby that I legitimately enjoyed, and you know, trust me, I've been around a long time in the hobby. You know, anywhere from historicals to Kings of War. You know, the death of fantasy. I've just been around. You know, and it all comes back to the one game for me. That's the one thing I want to do most is just I want to play some goddamn fantasy, motherfucker. That's it. You got a problem with that? Some people do, you know. Some people do. And I have flat soda this time, so I won't be burping my ass off. It was already a lot of things died for me in 2012. My love of superhero movies, you know, just to give you an idea there, Firstborn. I mean, the only movie that really got me into theaters were the Conjuring movies. You know, I mean, I'll go. I wanted to go see The Devil Made Me Do It, but you know what? What screwed that up is COVID broke the habit of going to the movies. You know. COVID broke the habit of doing a lot of things, you know, so there's no point. What are you going to do? You can't go and do anything, you know, so it's like, oh, you know, I mean, they've closed down, it even closed down a few old arcades and everything like that where I live, you know, so it's just like, okay, I didn't go see The Devil Made Me Do It. I saw The Nun in theaters, and I reviewed The Nun on the old channel. Maybe I should rewatch The Nun and do that. You know, the best analytically the best video I've had in weeks is my Dog Soldiers review. Everything else is just in the crapper right now as people are gearing up for Thanksgiving. I guess they're not. It's a hard sale Saturday to get people to watch, you know, and leave their likes and stuff like that, you know. But that's okay. You know, it comes in cycles. Okay, it was the first game to overtake GW since the 80s. The Last Jedi, 2nd edition, killed it. Dead, but I loved it still. Well, it's okay. If X-Wing's your thing, it's your thing. I really enjoyed Rogue Squadron for the GameCube and the N64. Rogue Squadron was good. But Shadows of the Empire, that game was amazing. The way the ships controlled in Shadows of the Empire were amazing. You get in any ship in Shadows of the Empire, it doesn't matter what ship it is, you really feel like you're flying it. Like, that was my favorite ship game, even though the ship levels in Shadows of the Empire were just badass. I mean, the game was badass all the way through. The codes there was just so much, you know, that they could have done inside of that universe. Inside of that universe, that would have been awesome. They could have turned Shadows of the Empire into a movie and, did a little bit of they could have had that. They could have CGI'd a conversation between Dash Rendar and Han Solo talking about their race that they had. He's like, maybe I let you win, Han. And then Han walks off all butthurt because Dash Rendar's the shit. And then the Empire attacks, and Dash Rendar gets into one of those land speeders and has a conversation with Luke Skywalker, you know. And they could have had a little computer hologram of him talking with Mark Hamill's voice. They didn't even need the primary cast. They didn't even need the primary cast, but they could have used them. And they could have CGI'd in Han Solo. That would have been fine. Or use a body double and just dub it over with Han Solo's voice. They had the technology back then in the late 90s to do that. And the fact that that never became a movie, you know, is just, it's telling, you know. Of course, you don't have the same talent pool working at Lucas Arts, the video game division, you know, that you did. You know, I mean, another game that I really liked was, you know, I'll take Jedi Knight Outcast. That wasn't a bad game either. It just didn't have any ship levels, you know. But it really made you feel like you were a Jedi Knight, you know, and you had your code. They gave you a code, help us Obi-Wan Kenobi, so you didn't have to level up. You just start as a Jedi right away, out the door. All this shit, you know. I'm chopping people up with a lightsaber, saber throw, dead. Yeah, that shows you the power of actual fan service right there. My eyes lit up, and I'm like, yeah, that game was the shit. Hello, Wraith. Yeah, film sucked. Donkey Kong Dong. Knights of the Old Republic. I have unfortunately never played it. Isn't it like that's like and the thing that turned me off about that was wasn't it like 10 hours of gameplay that you had to grind your way through before you even got access to a lightsaber? I know it was a ridiculous amount of playtime just to have access to a lightsaber in that game, and that's what turned me off. No, I want the lightsaber now. I want to be jumping over people, cutting up people with my lightsaber, you know, or force pushing them into the wall, you know, or choking them, you know. That's you know, I mean, it would be good to have force powers for one day, and I would go out to a casino and take the house for everything it's worth. I mean, just imagine if you had a genie. The genie says, okay, there's a limit on what I can do for you. I can't give you superhuman strength. And you ask him why not? Because if you were to start using your superhuman strength, it would compound, and it would look like after 1 year you had been playing pro football for 30 years, and you receive all of those injuries in 1 year. You know, okay, I get that. And then he's like, no, I can't make you better looking, you know, because then I have to take those looks from somebody. I can't make you rich. Yeah, that's a good one. Because then I have to take the money from somewhere. About the best I can do is Logan's healing factor or allow you to see 3 minutes into the future clear as day. I mean, just being able to see 3 minutes into the future clear as day would make you one of the richest people on the face of the planet. You know, because you could... Because you can go out to a casino, take the house for at least $500,000, bleep off with your money, pay your taxes, come back, do it again, and you know, once you hit that first million, you have it invested into certain dividend paying stocks, and you just live off of those dividends, and you can receive up to $41,000 a year in dividends and not have to pay taxes on it. Pretty standard, you know. Pretty standard. But, you know, enough of that. 50 hours worth of a game. That's nothing now. They got games that are longer than that. I played Gauntlet Legends, and I believe I conquered the game in 13... Gauntlet Legends Dreamcast. And even with my grind sessions, I beat the game in about 13 hours. Fully. All the levels. Went into hell, killed Scorn, kicked some ass. Yeah, you'd be able to see a lot of shit. Imagine being able to see clear as day in the future in a gunfight. I mean, if you could see clear, so you would know where to step, you would know when to duck, you would know exactly. I mean, a SWAT team could show up to your house, and you could literally just have a revolver in each hand, and you're going to win because you can see where they're going to be. So it's like if I hold my gun here up against the door, I can boot one of them immediately. And then I could duck around the corner as they come through. I could shoot one more. And then if I lay here on the floor like that, you know, you could literally beat a SWAT team. Because you have the foresight. You know where you're going to be. But if I had to settle on one superpower, I would literally take Logan's healing factor because of the anti-aging that goes on with that. You know, it's just like, wow, you get burned down to nothing but a skeleton and you heal from it. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, it's like, oh, I've been around since the Victorian era. I'm hundreds of years old and I don't look a day past 40. I'll take it. All right, let's do this. Let's get rid of the ever lovely Aka Atsuka. All right, now one of the things that I've done and taken care of, just as I was painting this guy, the one thing I remembered to do was wash him black and highlight him a little bit. I forgot to do that on this one, but that's okay. They're gonna look slightly different. All right, that's fine. I'll take that every day. Now, first when I start with the shield, I painted it brown. And then I ink washed it, and I kind of just laid out the same pattern that I'm going to do. Brown and orange, they kind of just go together, you know, especially the orange that I'm using. And then the shoulder pads themselves, I painted them all brown. I did a wash with I did an Agrax wash over the entire thing. The bullets themselves, that's just an ink wash of brown, and then I'm going to do the little casing for the bullet right there in brown. So, you know, I mean, I've also got my stencil out in case I need it. And that's kind of how I followed that. So, boom. And then I have this is my straight edge, basically. Okay, so first things first, I think I know what I want to do. I want to get out just a little bit of chain, what do you call it, gunmetal, and I'm just going to highlight him up a little bit away from the brown so that he's not poo stained brown like he's a little bit darker like his friend. And we're going to do that. We'll get a crappy brush. This way I can comp out just a little bit. I can bring them up a shade. And I'm really just going to do it in anywhere where the wash kind of settled a little bit too much. On the feet, I'm not going to care too much. Oh, wait a minute here. I had prepared for this. Thought I would, okay, got it. Sorry. I apologize to you, the viewer. Now, I don't need to worry about down here on his hands or anything, just the tips of his fingers. And that'll just make the metal pop a little bit. I just sit here and look at my shame. Maybe I gotta pull this out just a little bit. Ah, yeah, we were a little too close. close. Just a little too close. The guy's just a little bit too big. All right, tell me if that's better. You know, we finally get to the painting for the painting section and everything. So yeah, I think next week will be a good time during the holiday weekend for me to flush all of the bugs out of Rumble. And so I will be going live on Instagram. Well, not live. I will be putting a post on Instagram letting everybody know that I'm going live on Rumble. And then once I figure this thing out fully, it'll be 2 streams to Rumble, 2 streams to YouTube. But I want to really get some Rumble exclusives out there. Because why not? You know, new platform. No other wargamers are using it except for Shadow, DM James, and Weird World War II are all on Rumble. And if anyone else is on Rumble, let me know now, and I'll make sure to put a shout out there for you and let people know. A little bit goes a long way on this kind of a dry brush. You want to brighten it up a little bit. And I'll wipe it off on the base as I see fit. Inside here doesn't matter that much, but we'll go down for a line. Because we are going to wash the entire model again with Army Painter. But that just sort of gives them some dirt. Dirt likes dirt. And it doesn't matter if you get any on the gold. And we'll clean up his shield. A lot of this good stuff. Let's get some good stuff on here. I also inked the brown with brown on the shield simply because, again, the black, the lighter, I only use the air color black. It's a very, very, it's a very light shade of black here and everything, and you have to apply it in coats. And then once you put a little bit of gray inside of this black, it's just the way I do it, you know. It's like, it's black at the end of the day, you know. But it's a lighter shade of black. So if you want to, you know, sometimes, you know, I have to, when I do bases, you know, bigger bases, there are Elmer's glues. I have to Elmer's glue the sand on. You know, I do a whole stream today and I can't talk either. So I'll Elmer glue all the sand on. I'll take a layer of Elmer glue, water it down, and put another layer of Elmer's glue over the sand to seal the sand. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is I prime the miniature, including the base, and then I paint a light coat of this on the base. I paint the entire base with this stuff. That's another layer holding down the sand so you don't get the magic carpet effect. And then after that, I paint the base brown. So there's another layer. So it's really 3 layers, a layer of glue, a layer of primer, 4 layers, layer of primer, layer of black paint, layer of brown paint, then the highlight, then the static grass, and then, what do you call it? I'm spraying it again to hold down that sand to make sure the sand never moves. If you have to do it that way. And the good thing about air metal air metals is they just kind of go on. Now I want to get into some of those speed paints. There's a paint I really want to try called Hoplite Gold to see if that revolutionizes the way I do things for hoplites themselves or doing any kind of gold. So I got to look into that, you know. There's a lot of things I got to do. I got to finish these household guard pretty quickly here. I only got 5 of them left. A little bit on his gun barrels here. See if there's any finer details. Anywhere the wash might have pooled up again. Mm-hmm. Again, that's just a better base for your strong tone. All right, yeah. Brighten the top part of your head up just a little bit. Yeah, I really like these guys. Speaking of World War II movies, has anyone in this audience seen Patton? Now that's a masterpiece. Omar Bradley, with played by what's his name? Oh God, that's gonna kill me. I always know his name. Oh God, Carl Malden is Omar Bradley, and George C. Scott is Patton. Again, you know, just two really good actors. George C. Scott, you know, of course, in The Exorcist 3, he's no subject. He's been talked about on this channel at least 100 times. You know, just not to mention one of the intro, "Death Be Not Proud." That's from The Exorcist 3. So you know, I mean, there you go. Just yeah, watched part of that the other day, and it's just like we don't have that as a people anymore. We really don't. We really don't have that in our movies anymore. Like decent acting, it's always like it's got to be Henry Cavill, leading acting man. We don't have it. We never had it in a million years. We'll never find it again. Especially with how jobs are inherited in Hollywood these days. That's a huge problem. You get kids who inherit the jobs from their rich producer parents, and they have no talent. And you don't want to admit that your children have no talent. It's like when you're a teacher and you have to tell somebody that their child is basically stupid, and they're like, my kid's just as smart as any other kid out there. Are you sure? Are you sure your kid's amazing? You know, maybe you ought to look into a little trade school for this kid. Otherwise, he's going to be homeless on the street giving hand jobs for smack. That's most rich kids from Hollywood. I should do some series on Rumble about. One of them should be movies for guys who like movies, and I think I'll start that with Big Trouble in Little China, and maybe I'll do Hard Target, and a couple more Van Damme films. You know, because again, one of the you know, and this is a good subject to go into. You know, if you're watching me on the audience right now, is one of the things that made 80s martial arts movies so good, like the American Ninjas movies, was Mehmed Golan. Mehmed Golan was this dude from the Middle East who believed in the concept of the American hero. You know, you know, things could be bad, but as long as you got this one alpha male American hero, you know, everything's going to turn out great in the end. You know, and if you've ever seen American Ninja 3, the entire thing makes zero sense. And that would be a good one to showcase. American Ninja 3 Blood Hunt. I remember renting that almost every single day at the grocery store that I could on the weekends. And my mom would be like, it's rated R, but Mom, it's so cool. There's no nudity in it. You have to let me watch it. It's just a martial arts movie. And it's got like ninjas in an office building at the end for no reason. Like, why are they fighting ninjas? Let's go into this. And, you know, you get them in there, and you know, he made a lot of really good movies. Mehmed Golan, he produced a lot of really good action films, and I think there's a lot of subject matter there for Rumble that I think that I can actually grow on, because the movie reviews have done comparatively better than they would on YouTube, except for Dog Soldiers for some reason. That's the one that's just like, okay. You know, I try to repeat. I hate it when I have a video that does good on YouTube and I try to repeat the formula and I get crickets, you know. Now, the reason why I'm doing black on this side is because the shrapnel bolter's right here, and so I'm just going to paint this black, and I'm using these old Vampire Counts details here because I just like the way the skull and crossbone looks, you know. Oh, you can see it now. And, you know, it kind of fits in my opinion, you know. So we'll do that. And again, oh, of course. How stupid of me. I love how... That just pisses me off. I got more blackout than I'll ever need. That's great. That's okay, though. Let's use this size right here. And I've already done all the wiring that I'm going to do. I just have to... Yep, it's going to be right there, so we do this way. And you can see how much just basing the brown and then ink washing it, your thin black paint will stick to it. If I was determined, I would do some design. I would do some hazard wobbles on there, but I'm not determined. I just want these to be done. I want these cheap forgeries as part of my army, so I can get kicked out of a Games Workshop for using forgeries, you know, and be like, ho, ho, hum, I've been kicked out of a Games Workshop. Oh no, whatever will I do? When I mentioned I was watching the Legend of Zelda TV show, that's from the 1980s. It was a cartoon, and Link was a badass. He's like, well, excuse me, princess. That was his catchphrase. Excuse me, princess. And whenever I did something bad, still to this day, whenever a woman's like yelling at me, I'd be like, well, excuse me, princess. And that is the conversation stopper. Like women's heads short circuit when is he standing up to me? Oh my god. This hasn't happened. I think I like this. Their heads always short circuit when you drop the "excuse me, princess," and you be like, "excuse me, princess." You gotta drop it perfect like that every single time. But usually when it's close to when it's beyond the pale, if I'm not watching a movie, if it's just a weeknight and I gotta go to bed early, I usually watch the most dumb, mundane thing I can find. It's either Matlock or some stupid '80s cartoon because I'm gonna go to sleep. And that's the whole point of that. I want to go to sleep. So I have nothing that's high stakes on the television set. And you can take the liberties with your black all you want. You know, the more you want to do, the longer it's going to take. These guys, I'm just going to put these guys in the field. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not selling this army. It's for me. And I have too many open projects if Old World comes out. The one good thing about that show is that they managed to make Zelda a total babe in that show. You know, she's just a babe. You know, and she's always in trouble, and she's reliant on Link to come and save her. And she's like, "I'm not scared, Ganon. Link will save me because that's his job." She's just telling off some pig man. You know, that's the best part about Ganon. He's a pig man, like in Seinfeld. Pig man. All right, so if I look at my other guy, we're going to start my pattern. And the reason why we choose brown is because it's a little easier to work with. So if I have to make a mistake there, you know, and of course I didn't do too good on this shield because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it's going to be, this shield's lumpy, sucks Donkey Kong Dong. This one will be a little bit smoother. You know, everything's a journey. You know, I guess I should be a proper British artist like Duncan Rhodes and just have a generic plan of how I'm going to do things immediately. No, I arrive to them as I as I go in. You know, I'm just like, here we go. We're going in raw, baby. Raw. No pullouts. I'm going to spread some HPV, which I heard is rampant in the porn industry. Oh, you're not allowed to say porn on the algorithm. You have to say corn, corn, or ornpay. Can't use that word. Google doesn't like it. Their sponsors don't like it. All right. Definitively blacken that up. Yep. I'm going to have to use my straight edge because of where the hammer is. And that'll give me a better advantage. Of course, I got to wait for that to dry, so we'll go to the other side. Good way about doing it this way is that I can almost eyeball it all the way down. I'm just waiting for that to dry. That sucks. It's going to be black in the center. Got to change grip. I want to make it look competent. Should use tape. But who has time to do that? Yeah, we'll have to get out the orange for that. Otherwise, I won't be able to set it. What happened when you mentioned historical games inside of a games workshop? Did everybody just spurg out with their autism? Like, why would you play that? You'll never have anybody to play. Dirt and Dur, you know. Tegan, Tumbin, Burton, Dirt and Dur. I'm gonna. We, you know, if I had the foresight, like again, you know, if I could just see into the future, I would have started a wargaming channel where I talk about the inquiry of starting a project but never actually do anything about it, and just make it and just touch all the buttons for autists to spurg out on, and I'd probably be a millionaire right now. I'd probably be a millionaire. Fucking, this is gonna get difficult. I chose the wrong one for this. So orange, orange. The reason I don't give a shit right now is because I'm just building a little base. This is like the first coat, and then you have to wait for the other side to dry. Because this orange is kind of thin. And I got that stupid hammer I got to work around. And then I go back to black. It really sucks that Legend of Zelda cartoon didn't make it a second season. That would have been epic. I mean, it's literally 1 minute. The entire series is literally 1 minute and 30 seconds. It might be 2 minutes and 30 seconds of just him going, well, excuse me, princess. Link knew how to talk to chicks, man. Dying, kiss me. That will work. I am, however, going to need just a little bit of Averland. I got to close that up. Just a dot. What's up, Fox? Oh, have I written a list yet? What am I getting? Okay, so if I were to go off, I can go into that tangent. Let's paint for another couple of minutes. Let's do one full side of the shield, and then we'll spurg out on autism for what I'm gonna get in the Brettonian army. All right. We'll close the show with that. We'll close the show with that, and I'll make that a separate video so that I can upload it later for algorithmic purposes. All right, just this is going to be a 3-to-1 ratio here. Give me some paint. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to see what I'm doing. I should do the other side. Did not think this plan through at all. Okay, so that starts to take shape there. It's, you know, they're never going to be the same. You know, I guess I should use tape, but I really don't care. Because it's how I highlight these that kind of makes it take the shape here. So I get back into the black, and this is the beauty of using the air color. There we go. All right, a little bit of metal. Clean that area up. Problem with painting orange is that you have to put it on, what do you call it? You have to go one wet edge. Now this has to completely dry before I try again. You know, let's get some of this out. And if I have to make it brighter, or if I have to put some pigment in it, I can mix it with a little bit of Averland. Usually this old blazing orange color is pretty good on its own. See how that dries, and I can just go back the way I came. We'll go down here though. I need to get some decnals, but I think this first squad of 3, they'll be the ringer crowd. See how that wipes it away? Kind of a shitty color for that, but like I said, we want to get the first coat on. Really anything I can't handle. And the mixture is 3-to-1. Turns up. We just got to apply one more coat. We're about dry down there. We are going to cross this one more time. If we have to, we can just blend it into this side. Our black and our gray will take care of that. All right, almost there. I think we can actually finish the shield. Yeah, this one's going to look way better than the prototype. I'm actually glad I'm painting on these pieces of shit now before I get the real ones. Oh well. Go with the black. At least this side I can make it look better. Running out. Again, it's just 3-to-1 on the mixture between the Averland and the Blazing Orange. So 1 drop of Averland, 3 drops of maybe 3 full drops of Blazing Orange. And what that Averland does is it forces the orange to just stick to the surface a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And again, inside here it doesn't really matter because the only lines that I need to make that are straight are the black lines. And that's kind of how you do your freehand just a little bit. As you can... But again, the same rule applies. This stuff's kind of runny and I keep it runny for a reason. And we can clean up anywhere we got some unsightly black, like right there. Wait for that BS. Wait for that BS. Oh. We don't have to. We can actually keep going. I forgot about the orange shoulder pads on the other side. These guys hit pretty hard too in close combat. That's why I'm bringing them. Because I've learned that Dark Mechanicum robots suck Donkey Kong dong. And they're really tough to take down in close combat. But that's like literally the only way you can finish them. So, you know, I'm going to make it I'm going to make it Automata versus Automata then. War against war. No tricks, no fancy weapons, just my giant robots versus your giant robots. There we go. Nice and neat. Oh yeah, there's the contempt. That's why there's 3 contemptors now in my Imperial Fists army, is because they got that brutal 3, and if they perform in combat, because they're none of the melted guns I've had perform in shooting phase. It's like, oh, I didn't wound you. Okay, well, there's no command point rerolls. I can tell you now that if I was playing Dark Mechanicum versus my orcs in Warhammer 40k, the games would never have come close. I would have lost every single game. I would have been tabled every single time. where at least the games against Dark Mechanicum, because there's a battle report out, and you guys should all watch it over there on Rumble. Link in the description to my Rumble page. Just senseless shilling aside, but I've come halfway, and I'll take halfway. Whereas, like, because of command points and the way the mechanics work in the 40K, you just don't even come close. You know, it's like I absolutely have things because of command points and rerolls that will absolutely work and cripple you. Ah! Okay, good. I didn't hit the shield. Oh, that's funny. All right. Did I touch it? No. Gonna wait for that to dry, but now that that's dry down there, I can actually go to the black. What do we got? What do we got? Message was restricted. Hussar General, say that again. All I saw was Trireme Squad. Screw you, YouTube. Let my viewers speak. Let them speak. Okay. Triremes optimize them. What's that? I'm still a bit of a novice. All right, yeah, that's a weapon that just came out for the Cataphracti, the Thunder Hammers and everything. Yeah, so I am going to switch to Thunder Hammers on my Terminators. But then again, you know, I mean, that means I have to change up my entire lineup because I got a bunch of Tartarus Terminators, and that comes with the bullshit of buying another army, you know. But I don't have a problem with it, with buying another army. I mean, I did, and then I don't because my friend he's really manipulative. He's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You know, like, leave me alone, a-hole. Yeah, definitely have to have thunder hammers on your Terminators if you're going to take anything down. A lot of AP2 bullshit templates with my friend's army. It's all good, but I've got to figure out, like, I've got to deliver my Terminators, and I think I'm going to get to, the thing that I want to do is I'm going to get to Proteus, Land Raider, just Land Raiders, and drive my guys across the field as quickly as possible. Now, don't the Cataphracti get to re-roll their they get to re-roll their invulnerable save or something like that, which would come in handy against AP2 weapons. Not gonna lie there. No, I rarely do waste the points on long-range guns. I have the Praetor squad. They all have melta-guns and power fists. That's a 265 point unit for 4 guys. You know, and I do see the drawback to that there when my Praetor should just go with normal Terminators at 215. And the one thing I hate is how expensive the Spartan is. And what's your thoughts on Flare Shield? Sounds like you play this game a lot more than I do. Because my Spartan's already 390 points. Whew, that's expensive. Oh, we can just use some good old-fashioned Necromancer Cloak. Oh, we're coming to that time, so I guess we'll have to use only one drop. Are you fucking kidding me? God, how can that black overpower the gray so much? Fucking kidding me. I just want a little bit. I don't want it. That's the hard part, is this the shading. Okay, fine. Fuck it. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to deliver the Praetor Squadron into the robots, but that thing, he keeps getting lucky on all his armor penetrations, and I keep getting blown up. He's like, oh, look, a 7, you're destroyed. Oh, look, a 7, you're destroyed. That's annoying. That's annoying. That's something I don't miss, but at the same time, it does get the game moving a little bit faster. I just wish instead of the flare shield, you could buy for 50 points a 5+ invulnerable save for the Spartan or something like that. But at 390 points, the Spartan is really expensive. And I can, in a 3,000 point game, losing a Spartan, not a big deal. But in the smaller game, Spartan probably don't want to bring it. All right. So that's the shield and the model as it stands now. I don't think you'll be able to... too much. I want to pull back in certain areas where there's too much so that the black pops, but there's just enough gray on the black itself to kind of pop out the lines just a little bit. All right. Now we can spurg out, I guess. I'm gonna have to work that off. It's just one of those things that maybe I should do the shield off of the model when I actually get these. You know, it's a good dress rehearsal. I'll take a good dress rehearsal. All right, so I promised Fox something. Let me go get the book. Piece of shit. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm running out of battery, of course. That's okay because I can use the visual aid on Google instead. Let's see what we got. So we've got some old vintage images here. All right, so how am I going to design the army? All right. You got any old... is that done with contrasts? That looks pretty nice. We'll do Games Workshop, bam. All right, what did Games Workshop do here? So they got these guys out in, what was that? 3 plus 6 units. Hopefully they're selling, number one, I really hope that they're selling more than 6 of these guys in a box. That will make it very problemsome, you know, and so I hope you're getting 12 to a box. And that's just from my standpoint, from a buyer's perspective, I am going to have 2 units of Knights of the Realm in the field. And the reason why is that you can't go anywhere without Knights of the Realm. And they're the basis of your army. I was hoping to find some old Citadel pictures. Oh, let me see here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's just the Warhammer community image. Let me narrow this image down. The date of publication. Of course, they don't have any images in that book. Maybe I should go. Oh, here we go. Wonder where that's going to take me. Oh, you piece of shit. Can't you just take me to the picture, you piece of shit? Yeah, thanks for nothing. All right. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Check this out. Check this out. This is what my old Vampire Count's army used to look like. Hey. Hey, there's a familiar face. Now, I'm not bullshitting either. I'm on a blog somewhere. And it looks like the guy's reselling the thing. I don't even... Bam. Oh, you can't make the pictures any bigger. Oh, this is my undead Brettonian army that I used to run. No bullshit here. I'm going to Google search. I should just pin that right to the... What is worthpoint.com, huh? Let's get that in there. Live stream chat. Yes, let's go autism. Here. So everybody's on the same page. Bam. You can go to where I'm going and take a look at one of my old armies that I painted. Back when I cared, everybody. Just remember, I used to care. I don't care anymore. Man, I wish I could get a bigger image of that. I forgot what that thing looks like. God damn. Oh well. Everybody was on Gale Force 9 bases. Wonder where this thing ended up. Anyway, I guess I'll get a battery and stop. Alright, so, if I look through the book, and if you have one of these books, you can look at home here. I look at the basic imprint of the army is going to be around a Brettonian lord. I never really put that much into magic in my Brettonian army. Like I had the damsel scroll caddy. All right, we'll just start with the damsel scroll caddy, and let's get rid of this here. We got a pencil. And she is 70 points by herself, plus 35 for level 2. Whatever it's going to cost for level 2. Plus 10 for a war horse. Plus 25 for a scroll. So for the damsel, she's not going to be on foot. I'm going to hopefully I'm going to use I'm either going to use the Reaper miniature I have in the closet over there that I've already got. Or I'm gonna build one that I have in the bits box over there. So she's just 140 points. And then of course, if you're playing Brettonians, you have to surrender one paladin to be the standard. All right. So let's see what he is bare bones. Must ride a Brettonian warhorse. That was the bullshit thing. They only made you buy the warhorse. And he can't carry a shield. So let's see here. He's 74 points, just the way he is. And I either put the banner of the lady on that guy to negate your rank bonuses, but that we're not going to do that. So what I am going to do is I am going to see what like magic items are available at the time. But the way I used to run my paladin, and this is I'm going to use my basic army imprint. Because if the lance formation works in combat the way it's expected to work, I'm not going to have any flanks. I'm only going to have a rear, which is going to make life really easy for me. All right, so I'm gonna. Okay. So what I would do is I put the Gromwell Great Helm on him, and at 74 points, that's 30. So he's 104 just by himself. But we'll put a weapon on him. We got to put a weapon on him. What can we get for 20 points? Sword of Might. So he'd be 124 points. Now, standard loadout of knights that I want for the army is probably a unit of we're going to go a unit of and if you're running them in pyramid, you're going to have to go a unit of 12. It's going to be 2 units of 12 Knights of the Realm out the door, mounted, not running any knights on foot. What kind of horse shit is that? Maybe in a siege scenario if I get to play that one day. Worth the point. God, I did some good work on her. All right. So we're going there. We're going to have one lord. Don't know if the Green Knight's going to be in this rendition of the game or not. We don't know. I already know Leon, the King of Bretonnia, is not in this game. But the Green Knight might make an appearance. So we'll just go with the 11 Knights of the Realm because we're putting a character in each unit. 11 times 24 plus, is it 16? So 2 Knights of the Realm at 11 strong. And that's only 280 points apiece. So that's going to be a total model count so far with just the 2 characters that I've added and that I know that I'm bringing outright at 24 models, 2 Knights of the Realm. Now, the next thing, I got to have a unit of bowmen. And the bowmen are going to be, I'm just going to put them 20 strong. Why not? And if they have the option for flame arrows, they have the option for flame arrows. So we're at 24 plus 20. So we're at 44 models so far. Next up, you got to have elites. You got to have elites, and I think I want 2 units of 3 Pegasus Knights. And or 1 unit of 4. I can't decide. But we'll just We'll just leave it at 1 unit of 4 for Pegasus Knights. And that's 220, so we're up to 48 models now. And, mounted yeomen. All right, so at least 5 of those guys because they're really good bait men. Um, they always talk shit on the mounted yeomen being terrible fast cavalry choices, and I just don't agree with that at all. There's going to be 5 of these guys in the army either way, with equipped with shields, of course. So they're 16, so that's 75. That's 80. And they're bringing an extra unit of bow, an extra 5 bow shots, and they can get in the way. So that's pretty standard there. So I have two things to screen for my knight units, and I have so I have the Pegasus Knights to screen for my knight units, and I also have the Yeomen to screen for my knight units. It gets a little expensive for 4 of them, but again, I haven't decided. All right. So those are some of the staples that I will be choosing to buy just immediately for my Brettonians right out. So hopefully you're getting more than... I mean, I hated it when they went to 1 Pegasus Knight per box. That was some bullshit right there. But one thing that I'm going to save points for is, yes, I want Grail Knights in this list. So they were 38 points a model. It was 30 points for their command. We're going to run a Lance of Grail Knights. We'll do 6 of them. Six Grail Knights. All right. So we'll do 6 Grail Knights. That's 258. Let's see where we're at. All right. So I'm at about 1,500 points with just that. And then you have to include at least 230 points for a Lord. And I can only speculate as to the points cost. I don't know how this is going. I don't know how the army's going to be designed. I know that there's going to be a bonus for buying the foot knights and putting the knights on foot, because they've already made a model, a damsel to go with the knights on foot. Who knows? But the fact that there's a female knight variant inside of there, I don't want it. I really don't want it. Women can't be knights. End of story. What kind of Dungeons and Dragons horse diversity quota bullshit is that? Now, how I used to run my Brettonian Lord. This guy was a mean son of a bitch, okay? He has to be on a horse. For what? It's 21 points for his warhorse. Those bastards. Alright. Now, let's see here. Let's just give him a normal shield. Because I think I have to carry X amount. So he's 134 out the door. And I used to run them with, what was it? Now, there was two variants. You could run them with the Virtue of Heroism, which give them Killing Blow against monstrous enemies. But the way that I like to do it was Virtue of Knightly Temper for 40 points. All right? For each attack the knight hits and wounds on the charge, he may make an additional attack. For example, if the paladin hits and wounds 2 attacks, he can make 2 additional attacks immediately. Extra attacks are not generated if these additional attacks also hit and wound. So we're going Virtue of Knightly Temper right out the door. Boom. That puts them up there. So if they have something like that, this is how I just used to run them though. I would give him the Morning Star of Frakaska, of Farakasa. So the Morning Star would give him +2 to Strength, and on a 4+, he gets to basically. Okay, let me read this verbatim. The bearer has +2 to Strength in the first round of combat. For every hit for each hit on a close combat opponent, roll a d6. On a 4+, if the opponent has a magic weapon, it is destroyed. So I can just go in and destroy your magic weapon immediately, making it so you can't hurt me with a 2+, 5+. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll put that on there. So now we'll go 20 +2, 5 for the Morning Star. Now he's got a magic weapon. I haven't looked in this book forever. And we're going to give him, and I would give him, the Tress of Isolde. Okay, here we go. Nominate one enemy in base contact at the beginning of any close combat phase. The bearer of the Tress hits that model on a 2+, regardless of any other modifiers. So, okay, we'll go another 20 for that. So I would have a paladin that literally has 4 attacks. I hit you on 2s, and I get to make an extra attack for every wound that I score. So my chances of killing you have just gone up. And if I destroy your magic weapon, your chances of killing me have just drastically plummeted. Now let's see what we got here. That's 85 points worth of magic equipment, and he's about 219 points. And what else can I give him for 15? You got to max out a Lord, and he's going to be running with one of the knight units. Or I might buy a lance for him to hang out in. Oh, yeah, that'll be pretty good. I think that's pretty good with 85 points. That's how I used to run him. He wasn't that way. If he died, it wasn't a huge blow to my army, and then I would have the war machine hunting dude on a Pegasus and everything. So the basic loadout is about 1,500 points so far. I guess we could throw in a lance of errant knights, and I'll have to choose. We got a Lord, 219, and I guess so let's just point up what we got again, 21, let's see, 280 times 2. So I'd be sitting right there at about 17, 19 with what I've just got. And so what I would do is I would add probably another unit of 8. eight errant knights and another paladin to go with. Just how about a unit of 6 errant knights, and then we put the last paladin on a Pegasus to be a nuisance or something like that. It's the first army is going to be very basic, and it's going to follow that model. It depends on how cheap everything is points wise. You know, no telling what I can get into, but you know, just kind of going off the basic imprint. I already know that I want. With another unit of we'll add another lance of Pegasus Knights. That's 141. I mean another lance of Errant Knights. That's 6 of them at 141. Let's see here. So that's 12, 16, 22. So 1, 2. That will be roughly like that'll be a knight count of at least 40, not counting the damsel and the archers and the mounted yeomen. So it'll be a basic template for 2,000 points, just if I use this book alone. But knowing that I want 2 units of Knights of the Realm and a unit of Grail Knights, that kind of limits my choices. Now, if I go and do a 3,000 point army, definitely gonna have a Lance of Questing Knights, because why wouldn't I? You know, and just go off it like that, you know. And that's how I'm going to design the army. But I don't know. Do you have any questions for me, Fox, or can I wrap this up and call it good? What did you want? What else do you want to know? All right, we'll leave it open for one more minute, and we'll get out of the hangout late today. We started early and we're finishing way late. But we're looking at least 36 to 50 knights in the list. You know, I'm not going to put any stake on men-at-arms. There might be one unit of 30 of them, maybe, but, you know, just classic Brettonian player here tells me that I'm going to want to run a lot of my guys in the pyramid and just push those and just devastate one enemy unit at a time by charging my pyramid at you. You know, it depends on, it also depends on what, like, how my character builds will also depend on what I see from my opponents. If they're going, they're going to be, yeah, they're going to take up all the time on stream when I get them and everything. But just a basic template. And then, you know, they also, you know, from a design perspective, not a sales perspective, they also have to get people who have painted armies to come and play this, because that's going to sell it. When they see Squarehammer in the store again and people are playing playing Warhammer the Old World, well, people are going to come out of the woodwork. And I'd be very interested into seeing who, what do you call it? Yeah, I painted that army back when I cared. Back when I was young and had energy. Now I'm like old and I don't have any energy anymore. I'm like, let's just get this shit done. I've got games to play. I want to retire, god damn it. Just kind of sticking to that template there, you know. I mean, you know, a lot of things can come out of that. You know, so you got to have X amount of mounted bodies. You know, I don't want to run a force that's contrary to what tradition is, but I guarantee they'll find a way to fuck it up. It's Games Workshop. Anyway, as you know, if you want to get in touch with me, Instagram DMs are the best way to get in touch with your old pal, Holy Diver. And if you want to help my channel grow, go over to Rumble, link in the description below, Soy Free Warhammer, and give me a subscribe over there and start liking the videos over there that I put up. Got a brand new 30K Battle Report, which is a Rumble exclusive over there. If you want to like this video, comment, or subscribe, you can do all that stuff. But until I see you again, keep painting, keep playing, and stay metal, my friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Ah, it's over here.